Right, and we're back on the bank. You join me in the Cotswolds, and I'm on a new venue. I am on WHELFORD pools, and yeah, I've not been here before, so it's a place I kind of wanted to mark off the hit list. One of the venues I wanted to have a go, and it's a lovely little intimate venue, very picturesque, and it's got some lovely little scaly fish in here. No massive fish or anything like that, but some proper bangers. I've seen a few photos online, and it does look very nice. I actually saw Mark Pictures do one of the Fox challenges on here not too long ago, and it looked really nice in that, so I thought I fancy coming up and having a go at some point. But I had about 24 hours or just shy of 24 hours at my disposal, so I thought, yeah, let's come up here and have a little go for a change, and yeah, show you another day ticket, to be honest. So I got here last night. It's about an hour and a half before dark or something like that. Had a little mooch around, saw a few fish, and basically just dropped in where I saw the most signs, really. And it's very sort of, I think, margin dominated water. It's very small, so I think the fish probably spend a lot of the time mooching around in the margins, around all the sort of structure and overhanging trees and reeds and all that sort of stuff. So it was just a case of really lowering a couple of rigs close in and putting a little bit of bait on them, really. And I had a little go actually when I first got here, and had a little go sort of free lining some slow sinking stuff, because there were a few fish cruising about, but they weren't really having it. And to be fair, it started drizzling, so I quickly got the Tempest set up, and yeah, got some rods in. But all I've done is just lowered in 2 Ronnies in the edge with a little mesh bag of the cray mix. One's on white, one's on yellow, and I just put a handful of 12 and 8 millers over the top of them, and that's pretty much what I've done. Nice and simple fishing. I chilled out last night, had a couple of beers. It's very sort of warm, humid evening. We were forecast some thunder and some heavy rain, and yeah, that definitely hit. I think from about 3 o'clock in the morning it had been absolutely pouring down, and I had a river running through the Tempest. If you look at the swim here, there's the old home. It's a little bit of a slope on the bank, and basically the water's just coming down that slope straight under the brolly, and yeah, I've had a little bit of a river running through the centre of it, but I've managed to keep most of the kit dry, so it isn't too bad. But yeah, anyway, I was tucked in a bag this morning, sort of trying to get a bit of sleep. It's pretty loud with the rain, so it was kind of very broken sleep, but just after, I don't know, maybe 5:05, the right hand rod ripped off, and I ended up having one. So check this out. Right, morning then. Probably not the best camera footage, because it's been wet all morning, and I've been trying to hold out for the rain to stop, but it's just not happening. Couldn't really keep it in the net any longer. But first fish from WHELFORD pool, and lovely little scaly fish. So happy with that. Yeah, little banger. There's the other side. So yeah, there you go then. So we've had one, so absolute scaly banger. Real happy with that. Not a monster, but nice to have a first fish out of a new venue. There's a few guys on. I think there were 4 of us doing last night. They were all on the other bank, the other blokes, which is another reason I sort of got on this side. But this morning there's 2 lads that have turned up, and they've basically got in over on this bit. Is it this bit? No, it'd be this bit over here. So they've got in sort of along this bank, and unfortunately one of them is essentially just lobbed his rod straight on top of mine. But that's day ticket fishing, I guess. You can never really get around it. Not every angler is as respectful as you like them to be, but that's day ticket fishing, unfortunately. But there's plenty of options on here. You know, you've got loads of little nooks and crannies where the fish can go, and I've had one, so I'm pretty happy. But if this weather brightens up and dries out a bit, I might have a little pack down and have a little mooch around and just sort of go around on the barrow for a few hours and drop in a couple of spots and see if I can have one that way. But anyway, it's looking nice, looking good for another fish, so hopefully we can have another one and yeah, show you a few fish for the cameras. Right, I thought I'd just show you quickly what I had the fish on and what rig I'm using. I'm using exactly the same on both. So I've got a lead-free leader, probably about 1.5 foot, leg clip, nice and simple. The bottom's very firm here, so I don't need to use a helicopter rigs, and it's quite easy to just chop and change with a leg clip if I wanted to switch to a zig or possibly try something else. It's a bit easier to sort of chop and change with these. 3.5 ounce lead, nice big lead, as I've got a size 4 hook, so I always use quite a big lead when I'm using a larger hook. I don't tend to go much below a 3.5, to be honest. I've got 8 inches of tungsten loaded from ESP, little sort of anti-tangle sleeve there to kick it away, and then I've got a little tungsten bead there just so that when this lands on the bottom, obviously the lead hits first, and then that will just sort of float down and straighten out like that and sit on the bottom. I've got a little Ronnie section, as I've said, size 4. That is a ESP gripper hook, and yeah, I've got a little 12mm highlight pop-up on there. This one's a white, which was on the left rod, but I had the fish on a yellow, which was on the right hand rod. And then I've just been nicking a little mesh bag of the cray mix on there just before chucking it out, just to give it a little bit more of attraction. And yeah, that's what I did the fish this morning. Well, that'd be a fish. Right then, so I've packed all the kit down, and I've been sort of moving around trying to find some fish, and I've actually had one. So I'm on 2 now, but to be honest, it's only a little common, so I was miles away from my kit. I basically put my kit on the barrow. You can actually see it behind me at the moment. It's there. I put all the kit on the barrow, and I've basically just sort of wheeled it into a swim and then just gone wandering with one rod, looking for opportunity basically. And my kit was, at the time, it was sort of down this end, in the swim on the end here, and I was in the swim over there. which is where I had it from, and I didn't want to have to mess around, walk all the way back just for a little one. So yeah, I just slipped it back, but it literally was 3 or 4 pound maybe at the most. But anyway, I had it on a little bit of slow sinking bread, and I flicked a few bits out in a few spots, and just walked around waiting for something to take one, and I saw a little bit of movement around by it, so I kind of went in there, saw a couple of fish, flicked out the slow sinking bread, and that common nailed it, so happy days. But anyway, I've seen a few more along this margin along here where I am now, so I'm going to go and have a little go. I've been flicking a little bit of bread in there already, and they're very cagey, they're right underneath this tree, but there's a couple of nice fish, and one of them is definitely a 20 pounder, so I'm going to have a little go, and hopefully we can nail one, but we'll see how we go. Jeez. This is actually fish number 3. I had a very small common, which I just unhooked and slipped back because I was quite far from the camera and that. I couldn't be bothered to mess around. But fish number 3, lovely scaly fish. This one has taken a long time to catch. I found some fish along a little sort of snaggy overhanging marginal line, and basically was just slowly flicking in little bits of bread, trying to get them confident. They were held up under this tree. They did not want to come out, and after about maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours, they finally started creeping out and taking bread within an area I could actually get a hook bait to. And I missed a couple of fish, or spooked them I should say, sort of moving a bit too quickly and trying to get the bait in position, but eventually this one's come up and made a mistake, and here we go. What a lovely little fish. Put up an awesome scrap. I got a bit of it on the GoPro, but unfortunately it cut out before I netted it. But yeah, absolutely ripped line off. But well happy with that. I slip it back, and might have a chance for another one, but if not, 3 fish I'm happy with. Didn't do that very well, did I? Well, that was graceful. Right then, so after my last update, I've had another fish. I would have probably already shown you it, but yeah, I eventually managed to nail one. Lovely little scaly. There was a bigger fish in there. I think I mentioned earlier there was a bigger fish in there, but it just wouldn't come out. It was so stubborn. It just would not come out from underneath this tree. But a few of the smaller fish would. There were a couple of commons which I was trying to avoid, and then I saw a couple of nice scaly mirrors, and I basically just waited for one of the nicer scaly ones to move into an area I could get a bait to it. I missed a couple of times. I did mess up a couple of chances, but finally I had another, and yeah, I had a third fish, so happy days. I'm quite chuffed with that. So yeah, it's not been too bad in the end today. It's kind of definitely worth packing up and getting on my feet and moving around and trying to find them, but I haven't really got long left now, so I'm gonna have a little mooch around again. I might have a little mooch back towards the car and see if I can see anything along there, but other than that, I'm gonna probably call it a day, I think. But we'll give it another little half an hour maybe, and then see what I can find, and maybe we'll have another one. Right, and that's me done. Back of the car, all the kits loaded up. When I get on the road, unfortunately I didn't have any more fish. I had a little scout around, didn't really see anything, so I decided to call it quits and get home a little bit earlier so I can get sorted out, unfortunately, to go to work. Anyway, I hope you liked the video. If you do, remember to subscribe, check out the Instagram and all that jazz, and if you do like it, give it a like and a share and all that stuff as well. So anyway, until next time, thanks for watching. Get out there, be lucky, and we'll see you again soon.